right turnaround. So how cool of a recruiting tool is what's about to happen over there?
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful. And we've been talking about it for a couple of years. We've had renderings, we could do videos and fly-throughs, but there's nothing like a recruit and a family walking up and actually seeing it. And of course, knowing that they're going to be playing there their entire career, right? Whether they're coming this fall or they're 26 or 27, they know they're going to be in this facility. They know the vision is becoming a reality. And I think that's been pretty impactful.
Are you guys going to be done on time?
On time, on budget, 4 words that we're really enjoying continuing to say around here. They're working incredibly hard. The Turner team and all the subs are doing outstanding work. Double shifts, 600 people on site any given moment, and everything is on track for that August 23rd home opener.
So on that August 23rd home opener, will people can expect to come here and there's no more construction stuff, everything's clean as a whistle and looking brand new?
Pretty clean. We'll see if it's as clean as a whistle, but it'll be pretty close to that. And every aspect of the stadium will be completed and fully open. The conference center to the north will be the one piece that probably lags a little bit, and we've known that and prepared for that. We anticipate the conference center will be open and active in the middle point of the fall. But every other aspect stadium-wise, up and running, landscaping mostly in place, plaza on the front northeast kind of entry, World War I memorial, you name it, all be ready to go as we get into the fall.
When you hear less than 100 days to the first game, this opening up, how proud are you to see a project come to fruition and almost come to completion here, and seeing it where it is now, and just how excited are you for everybody to see it when it's open?
Yeah, my 5-year-old has had one of those little ring things for his birthday. So I think he started at like 45 days, where he pulls one off every day, gets closer to his birthday. And I think back on that, and that has gone really fast. 100 days, we're under that mark. We're moving quickly toward the opening, and obviously walking through it as everybody did. Incredible progress has been made, but you also know there's a lot of details to finish out, and it's exciting to be able to see it take shape, to start to see woodwork going up on the interior spaces, to start to see branding and signage start to pop in certain spaces, obviously to see the seats in there. It's very real. It doesn't take a lot for us to envision what that experience is going to be.
And it's modern.
Yeah.
Everybody's so used to seeing how Blue Flies, but how the fact that it's so modern, one of the more modern ones in the case of Metro.
Yeah.
I think how cool is that to see, a modern facility?
Yeah, and I think the objective was obviously modernized experience, right, which requires modernized finishes and all the things that come with it, but also a facility that could fit into the landscape, right? This unique setting at the bottom of the hill, looking up at the Campanile, our campus architecture, et cetera. So I think we continue to believe we're striking the right balance with the aesthetics of it, obviously exterior, with the lighting and that kind of wheat effect. And then obviously when you make your way in there, we'll see nods, especially in finishings and in color schemes, that I think really tether well into the Kansas landscape, which was a priority for us.
And I know, getting down to the minutia of numbers, we had a little time to check on how many days. It's 120 days until the first game, but is it 98 days until construction kind of wraps up on this first phase?
Is that the word?
That's probably right.
Okay.
Yeah, August 1, kind of a...
That's the 98 days,
things.
yeah, but the game
so
is 120 days. Just wanted to check.
They're going to use 120 days. They'll tell us 98, but they'll be working on, that Friday, August 22nd.
Part of the modernization, you have a variety of new seating options,
right,
from movie style seats to the different suite levels, the craft and draft style stuff. How big of a priority was that in building this out?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge priority. The idea really was no bad experiences in the venue, no bad seat in the new part of the stadium, certainly with the west and with the north. And we really feel like we've hit that. And then under the leadership of Jason Booker and his team working incredibly hard to make sure we had the right kind of diversity in the premium experiences, both with multiple club premium spaces and in the seating diversity as well. And so again, all chairbacks on every new seat in the new part of the facility, but some differentiation in terms of that chairback experience. Everything will be world class.
Do you have an attendance number in mind for this first year? I know obviously everything's their capacity, I guess.
Yeah, 40,000 something.
Yeah.
I apologize because you guys probably answered this on the tour, but what still needs to be done?
Quite a bit. I mean, that's the reality. They're really primarily working on the interiors, right? There's still lots of things happening on finishing out the exteriors, but you can see that they're within striking distance on the core components of the exterior. Now you're into suite spaces, you're into hospitality and club spaces, finishings, lighting, the branding. We're working with Dimensional Innovations out of Kansas City, who's been an incredible partner to bring to life branding, signage, those kinds of aspects. So all of that's obviously still out in front of us. And those are the intricate details that really bring to life character. And I would add this, one of the things we're most exciting is there's a storytelling component to about every level of the stadium, right? So there's historical vantage points, there's a history of kind of the war memorial concepts at KU, not just World War I, which was the original Memorial Stadium concept, but telling the history, talking about the institution beyond athletics, talking about and being connected to the city of Lawrence and the state of Kansas is a theme that will really start to unfold as they finish those touches out.
How about in the idea of like trophy cases and past great teams and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Do you have anything addressing that?
Absolutely. That corridor we just finished before we walked into that kind of grand entry, that grand lobby space, is a corridor that will have a chance to honor the past and also will celebrate the present, right? So you'll have present successes, you'll have present bowl games, championships, etc., and then there will be that historical vantage point as well. And that's to obviously for the fans to experience, but it's also for the men in the program, right, to understand the history, understand what Kansas football has been, what we've achieved, and of course where we're trying to go.
The House settlement should be passed at least in the next couple months. What, having revenue sharing, this, having to share with athletes, what challenges has that presented the entire athletics department here?
Well, I mean, House and the settlement and the changing dynamics, right? The ability to share revenues means there's certainly a budget dynamic. It's up to $20 million that no one had accounted for a year ago, right? So we've all spent time over the last 6-9 months at every athletic department, at every university setting at our level, figuring out how do you financially manage that? What are the cost savings mechanisms that every place that we're looking at? We've certainly done that here at KU extensively. And then, of course, what's the strategy around distributing and deploying those dollars in a way that most moves the needle? Because at the end of the day, rev share has a direct correlation to competitive outcomes. It has a direct correlation to retaining and building rosters in the right fashion, which obviously we all know has a lot to say about the product on the field, on the court, etc. So still in the throes of a lot of those efforts. We really feel great about where we're going and what our plan is. We certainly didn't sit idle and say, well, we'll wait till it's right on the doorstep of being approved. We've had a plan both in motion and pretty well at the point of finality for roughly 3 months at this point.
How important is it having a stadium like this in terms of proving to the country Kansas is one of the top Power 4 football programs out there?
I mean, we've always felt like there's multiple elements of what a facility does, right? Fan experience is critical. It's a major revenue driver. We ran refresh numbers the other day, and I won't just necessarily put the figures out there, but there is a moment, as you guys can imagine, when you look back to revenues generated by football at Kansas, and I'll go back to kind of the mid-teens or late teens before COVID, and those numbers were more than concerning, right? They're devastating when you think about the financial opportunity that football provides athletic departments. As we look at what we've experienced with, filling the former version of this venue up over the last couple of years, having really nice attendance, good outcomes financially out at Arrowhead and Sporting, we know that the future pro forma of what this venue can drive for us financially is profound. 5-fold, 6-fold, some junctures 7-fold what those numbers had been over kind of a historical lens. So that's big time. I mean, that obviously has a lot to say about viability and supporting the entirety of the department. It also has something to say about our ability to share revenues in the most competitive fashion, and football is going to need to be an important part of that. And then, the last thing we'd say about facilities and the statements it makes is it's literally a tangible beacon. I mean, it's something that sits on the horizon as you're making your way, whether it be from I-70 or from other vantage point of campus. It's making a statement about what excellence is and what excellence can be at KU, and that transcends the sport of football. We think this facility certainly speaks to our commitment in football, but I also think it speaks to something far beyond that as well.
When you talk about visibility, I know there's a lot of little Kansas kind of unique things,
Yeah.
the wave the wheat, things outside the stadium. You were talking about the logo earlier, the big K flag on the seats.
Right.
How important was it to kind of layer or, kind of trickle those just
Yeah.
Kansas-centric things?
Critical.
In the stadium?
That's something we believe in as a department. The people in our department, not all of them have Kansas roots, of course. It's not some prerequisite, but it matters. And so those of us that do take that seriously know that our commitment to the state is really important. Our architects are local, right? Including, one of the co-architects who's based right here in Lawrence. And so they've worked on our campus and they understand the importance of telling that story, that unique Kansas heritage. I talked about Dimensional Innovations out of Kansas City. They understood it, and there's a bunch of Jayhawks in that firm that really kind of bring that story to life. So I think it's been an embedded, kind of core value that we've had from the start.
And what's been the most fulfilling part of seeing all this come together for you and for the athletics department?
Yeah, I think to me it's always going to be about the people, and there's really two groups of people that I'd speak to as to me the most fulfilling. One, it's been seeing our student athletes, our football student athletes, get in and see the new spaces. Most recently, that auditorium that everybody had a chance to see, that multi-use kind of space that we walked into, and then knowing what's coming with this game day experience. So I think student athletes first has been the most rewarding. Secondly, our fans deserve it, right? They've been through a lot around the sport of football, and the experience here obviously has not been what we'd want it to be over the years with the previous facility and stadium, and this changes the game for them. And so we're so excited for our fans, and they're getting to live and experience and seeing their energy about opening up this fall.
You said on time, on budget.
Yes, sir.
Days. How do things look moving forward?
Really good work happening as we move to opening of phase 1, obviously in August. Great work underway when we think about moving into that phase 2, and there's multiple levers to that. Some of it's been pretty well documented, but essentially we're working in 2 major fronts. Certainly fundraising. Can't get any of these types of things achieved without the right kind of donor support. So really productive, exciting work in that space, on the cusp, I think, of some incredible commitments to help move us into phase 2 and start to fund that aspect of phase 2. And then the second piece is working through some of the municipal incentives, things like STAR bonds, TIFs, CIDs, working with the city of Lawrence and our partners to make sure we've got a successful path forward. And I would say both of those are within striking distance. And of course, for us to meet a really ambitious timeline, like to really continue moving with intention through 25 and into 26 with some additional construction, these next handful of weeks, couple months will be really critical to that.
Thanks, Travis.